Hello, beautiful people. It is I, Cola. I'm getting ready to straighten my hair out, and it's gonna be a task. Oh, so I felt compelled to record. This is gonna be very, very short. Nothing much to say. Um, but yeah. So let's get to it. If you guys can see, the topic is saying that I did not want the courts involved. I sit and I kind of wander around YouTube in the spaces that I know and can get to, still learning my way around, trying to get out of all these spaces. I get around to other spaces as well, outside of these sectors. But something that I saw today, and it was talking about, Black men and Black women, like, that's like the topic of, seem to be the topic of discussion on Black YouTube since I've been around. I've never in my life seen it so much, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. I feel like some of the confusion and misunderstandings could be handled with just, you got us just basically, talking things out and communicating and having in our mind to try to stay healthy, especially when there are kids involved. And I say that to say this. I've spoken in the past about, my daughter's father, and being very good with co-parenting with him, and went through some things with his significant other, his spouse, excuse me. She's his wife, not his significant other. Give her that respect. And we got through that, and now we're back in a healthy space. And I say that because 2019, when myself and my ex was going through a lot of things, and he was, we both were saying we were unhappy, and the last thing I want to see is somebody unhappy with me. I knew that my mental health was a priority. I knew that wasn't something that I could continue to put on the back burner, even though I did 4 years later. I'm sorry, 2 years later. I still, I just knew that this is something that's not going to change about me as far as my, having PTSD. I knew that wasn't, I'll never be like my psychologist said, I'll never be who I was before that happened. You understand? And so I know I would never, I wouldn't be in that space for long. I knew that was a temporary situation. But at that time, I wasn't really for sure how long that was gonna last or whatever, because like I said, it was my first time going through that. So 2019, I spoke to my ex, and I actually came up with papers, got everything drawn up. And I even spoke to him about, being separated for 1 year, living apart for 1 year. Being that our marriage, it went so fast, I said, maybe we need to throttle back a little bit and let's start over from scratch. Let's live apart for a year. Let's go to counseling within that year, and let's date. Let's start over from scratch. So I did whatever I could at the time, to try to find some solutions, to the problem that we had. And that was one of my solutions. Living apart, still going to counseling, dating, just starting from scratch. Because like I said, we got married within 6 months. We really, things took off. So I was like, if we throttle back a little bit and just kind of start over, that will probably help. But my ex, it was a cat and mouse game. Okay, yeah, no, and just going back and forth. And then 2019, I actually took it upon myself to get papers drawn up, and so that we could just come together and we can come up with our own terms and not have to go to court. I've never been to court before, but besides, I had never been to court, excuse me, I have now. I had never been to court before besides a speeding ticket. I've never been in trouble. I've never had any issues with my kids, my daughter's father. When he and I we had our issue with his wife, we did mediation. We were able to solve everything. We never had to go to courts. We never had to get a judge involved. I'm not even used to that. So I tried to do what was, number one, easiest and less stressful for us both. Number two, which would have been less stressful for our child. And four, being cordial and not being like how we are now with all this animosity and this tension from having to file for a divorce. And number four, financially, um, it, divorce is it's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's not. I see people say a couple $100. No, it depends on what it is, what's how deep depth, how in depth it is, and things like that. So it can be pretty expensive. But my mind was being able to co-parent and being a healthy, relationship meaning a family, because regardless if you're not married or you're not dating, you're still in a relationship because you have a child. So you're in a relationship because you're family, like that, being able to co-parent. So I drew up the papers. Gave it to my ex 3 times. The first time he told me it was one thing that he didn't, he wasn't feeling. I said, okay, we can change it. Never got the paperwork back. I sent it to him 3 times. It has been torn up. I have all these emails just asking him, hey, let's just get it rolling, because I knew that if we kept going the way we were going, we was going to end up where we're at now. I could foresee that. And I was like, well, either my marriage or we be like where we are now. And I mean, not my marriage, being able to do it, have a legal separation prior to getting here, but unfortunately we got here, so I see panels where it talk about, the woman want to take half and all this stuff, and the man bitter, the woman bitter, things like that. But there are some of us that don't like the court system. There's a lot of us that would rather do it without the court system. But it's not always bitter women. Sometimes there are bitter men. Sometimes there are men that may get upset because you filed first or you filed. And in my mind, if a person is so unhappy with me and I give you an easy way out to just, let's file on our own, let's go down, let's write our own terms, let's take our paperwork down to the courthouse, why wouldn't you take that? Why wouldn't you take that? That doesn't make sense. I hear you was forced, you stayed. No, that was never mentioned. You were giving an easy way out. We came up with financial terms, visitation, all that stuff. I even said, look over everything. Whatever you don't agree with, we will work that out. Never got the paperwork back. Was given to it 3 times. I have so many emails asking about this paperwork that I never received back. So the narrative of I stayed and no, and I stayed, the same reason why people that get abused stays. I heard that and I was like, wow, really? Seriously? You were giving a way out without even going to the court system, without even, like, most men would jump to that. People, I could not in my life understand why a person would not want to do it without the judge, without the court system, without the stress of going through a divorce for the 4th time. Like, I mean, it's like torturing yourself or torturing me. I never understood that, because I would have taken that with flying colors. I was like, oh my God, I want to do it this way because I don't have to go to court. I don't have to go through the stress. That's how my mind worked. But I guess everybody's mind is not like mine. So I don't understand if a person was so happy and was getting beaten, quote unquote, on a regular, all the day, every day. Why wouldn't you have taken that 2019? Why wouldn't you have just done it then? I don't understand. And my mind, that was easy. I wasn't even asking for much. I was only asking for a small help with when I was going to retire. And at that time, the money that was coming in on the other end, oh my God, you would have made it out very good. I don't understand that. You basically bought this on yourself. You brought this upon yourself. And it's like you purposely did it. I don't know if you wasn't ready to done with pushing me in the water so I can drown, or what he was doing. I don't know, but I just don't understand. Why a person that was so unhappy wouldn't have taken that and ran with it and said, this is it. Someone gives you an easy way out of something, trying to make sure you guys can co-parent. Co-parenting is the biggest thing for me. I do not want my kids in unhealthy environments if I can help it. My other 2 girls have never been in it. Me and their dad co-parent, like I said, and this is the first for me. And the stress level has been on 1,000. Waiting, what's going on, calling lawyers not, my lawyers reaching out, not receiving paperwork, but then I'm being slandered as if I've been sending stuff at the last minute. I have nothing to do with when my lawyers sent out paperwork. That has, anything that come from my lawyer is not me asking, it's my lawyer giving the information to the opposite side. So there was a panel done that I was requesting all this stuff at the last minute. That's a negative. That was for my lawyer. It's called the discovery. So I want to correct that lie as well. There was a panel done on that. So I don't know where the hell that lie came from about me asking for last minute stuff. No, that's part of the divorce process from what I've been seeing. Like I said, this is my first time and I'm just going with the flow, but I'm honestly ready to move the hell on with my life to where there is no connection, because we are not legally separated. So if something happens to me or him, we both have jurisdiction over each other as of today. He is still my spouse, I'm still his spouse, and he can override everything. But I recommend, if anyone else in this situation, get you a living will and get your living wills updated to where if something does happen to you, you know, you can have your mom or your dad over you and not the spouse, because Lord knows if you have a spouse that's vindictive and devious and don't like you, they may just pull the plug and let you die. I'm just being 100. That's how I feel about it at this point. So make sure your living wills are updated. If you guys don't have a living will, get you a living will, get your wills updated, get all your stuff updated, get yourself prepared, because I'm gonna tell you, going through a divorce, you really see the side. They said divorces and I think it's divorces and funerals. Is that what it is? Divorces and funerals is when you really see how people are. Yeah, that's true. So like the topic says, I never wanted to go to court. I tried to do things in a dignified manner without having to get the court system involved in our business, having a court system tell us when a person can see their child or not. That's just ridiculous to me. And I hear a lot of people talking about the Black man, the court system, but my question is, why, as a Black man, wouldn't you have taken that deal? I would say it's a deal because it was a very good deal without the court system. You put yourself in the court system. I don't understand that. Any man would have taken it and been thankful and been like, okay, had we did it the way I suggested, we probably wouldn't be where we're at now. We'll probably be getting along. Years have been passed and we'll be cordial for our baby. But sometimes when you allow people to lead, they lead you down a damn rabbit hole. And that's why you can't let everybody lead you, because sometimes you can see that they lead you into a rabbit hole. So, I hope this resonates with someone. If you're going through this or you're thinking about going through a divorce, try to do it without the court system. It's stressful. It's financially draining. It's draining, calling back and forth, this paperwork, that paperwork, this paperwork, calling, trying to figure out what's going on. We're at, a year and a half now. We still have not budged much. And I'm ready to be detached, done, over completely. I want to be able to put on when someone asks me what my marital status is, I want to be able to check one or two boxes, single or separated. I still have to check married, and I don't like it because ain't shit that's going on right now. I don't like having to check that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because that popped up in my mind, was detangling my hair. I said, wait a minute, just popped up in my mind that, yeah, here's a Black woman that tried to not put a Black man, take him to court, and the Black man refused. And instead of a Black man just saying that, oh, I don't want a divorce, I want to work on our marriage, he played all these games for all these years, and we're going to go to marriage counselor. We never went, just playing games. So not all Black women are like that. Not all women, not just Black women, are like that. Some of us do try to be cordial and be civilized and do things without having to bring the court system in. So I wanted to dispel that lie as well. I was not holding up any process with this divorce. I did not request any paperwork at the last minute. It was my attorney and his paralegal. Whatever they do is what they do. And I did try to reconcile this marriage without going to the courts and to give the other person basically a good deal. Very good deal. Was only one thing he didn't agree with, and I was willing to bend on that as well. So dispel the lies of all Black women in the court system, because there are some of us that like to handle things the adult way. And that's all I have to say about that, guys. I'm going to finish detangling this hair, press this out, and try to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And yeah, you guys have a great night. It is Sunday, June the 4th, and it's 10 o'clock. All right.